How you doing, and welcome to my channel. Now if you're a first time viewer, please hit that subscribe button, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Now today I'm having a look at the Hot Toys Bane 2.0 MMS 689 from the Dark Knight Rises. Now you can see on the box it says Dark Knight Trilogy, and then on the back there's some warnings and that, and it is a slip cover, as you can see there. I'll just pull it off and you can see on the back that there is actually a picture of the figure, because on the front there I'm pretty sure that's just a still from the movie, but on the back there on the slip cover we have an image of the figure itself. And guys, this figure is just next level. It's absolutely amazing. Figure of the year for me. I'll just get that straight off the bat there. For me, it's figure of the year. So moving on, we'll just have a quick pan down of him, I suppose, before we get into the details of him. That's him pretty much set up there, obviously without any of his coats on, but that's pretty much the lot there. Yeah, just giving a quick pan down. Like I said, guys, this is just next level to me. The skin on it is amazing. I recently got the Artisan Joker and I was blown away by that, but this to me is just with the skin is far better. You can see there that the water effect there, and you can see the clip there on the right hand side doesn't quite sink in. I believe that's an issue with a few of them. I'm gonna have to fix that. We'll get into that a bit later on. Yeah, just giving them another pan up there, I suppose, just give you a quick look at the details of them. And like I said, look at that skin texture, the skin tone, the details of it, the muscles, each muscle there. Just next level, guys. So let's get on to the accessories, I suppose. He doesn't come with a whole lot. He comes with, as you can see there, 2 coats, and starting on the left hand side, as usual, we'll have a look at his leather coat or jacket. A biker jacket, is it a biker jacket? Made of a nylon, which I'm absolutely delighted with. I'm so glad that they've moved away from the pleather. And the belt there, I've just noticed, the belt actually attaches by Velcro. There's no buckle on the belt. There's no pin on the buckle for it to buckle into. It actually just sticks on with Velcro. Just clip that in there and just see how that works. No, I won't actually. We'll do that later. Just looking at the zip, you can see that it is slightly oversized. That's one of those zips that I've seen a lot of third-party jackets, to be honest with you. It's a little bit oversized, but it's not a deal breaker. Will I undo it there? I suppose I have to get it on him, so I do have to undo it. It's a bit of a nuisance to undo there. Yeah, I'll just try and undo it, I suppose. There we go. And just looking at the lining, fully lined, as you can see. Nothing wrong with the stitching on it at all there. And even looking at the stitching on the shoulder, up on the shoulder there, you can see how fine and scaled down the stitching is. Nobody does it like Hot Toys, in my opinion. And then all the details on the elbow stitching there as well, as you can see. And then he has the little button on his cuff, which, as far as I can remember, is all movie accurate. But like I said, not pleather, guys. There's no weathering on it. I don't know whether that's movie accurate or not. I'd assume that it's, it should have a little bit of weathering on the elbows and that, which is even if you can't see it in the still photos, it would have them, and it probably should have a little bit of weathering on it. This one does have a lot of weathering on it, just like in the movie. Completely movie accurate. This coat is a piece of art in itself, if you ask me. It's so well scaled down. It's perfectly scaled down. You can see the wool on the inside. It's fully lined with the wool on the inside. They didn't skimp in any way whatsoever on the back of it there. It just has a nice bit of lining on the inside there, and all the buttons in all the right places. And it is fully wired, guys. All the way down the bottom is fully wired, and all the way up to the collar is fully wired on both sides. So you can put it in some dynamic poses if you so choose. You are not limited at all. It's a nice bit of detail to put in there. And just looking in at the stitching and the patchwork that's been done on it there, you can see how fine that stitching is, guys, and how scaled down it is. You can see that the weathering is printed onto the nylon. So again, guys, never gonna flake on you, never gonna peel. It's gonna last a lot longer than any pleather. And then down to the pockets there, you can see the pockets are a different colour, way more movie accurate than the 1.0 as far as I can remember, with the buttons on it. And there is some sort of foam in there just to pad it out a little bit, to bulk it out a little bit, which is a nice bit of detail. And yeah, all the buttons on the inside that can clasp, and we'll see if it'll fully clasp over when we get it on the figure. And just looking in there at the armpit stitching, all completely movie accurate as far as I remember. No wire in the collar. I'm a little bit disappointed that there is no wire in the collar, but so far it seems to cooperate. Just doesn't pin down in the corners there where it should, but yeah, looking at the back of it there, again, all the weathering in all the right places, runs all the way down it. Most of the weathering up on the shoulders and down the back of the arms. Extremely movie accurate. Perfect. And then moving on, we will have a look at his broken cowl, his Batman cowl that obviously he gives Batman quite a beating in the sewer, and this cowl comes from that scene. It's not like the one that came with the 1.0. There's more mask. It's a bit more movie accurate as far as I can tell. And there is a bit of damage and weathering to it, but unfortunately there isn't that watery, splash effect on it like the 1.0. In the 1.0 there was, I'll just zoom in there and show you a bit more of the details, guys. Yeah, the 1.0 had this splashy watery effect on it there, but it didn't have that kind of, see all the damage around it and all the gouges that are in it and stuff. They're really nice, but I would have liked that wet kind of effect that it has in the 1.0, and it has in the movie. To be honest with you, it's wet in the movie. I'll just show you what I mean, guys. On the left there we have the one that came with the Daft Toys with the wet effect on it. This one here is the Hot Toys one from the 2.0, and then we have a lot less mask there, but I do like the splattered kind of effect on it there to make it look like there's been water dropped on it, because when Bane picks it up in the movie it is wet, so it does look a bit more accurate. Unfortunately though, I think there is more of the mask in the movie, just like this one here. So I might do something with that cowl. I might just splash some semi-gloss onto it just to make it look wet. So there you go. That is the difference between pretty much the 1.0 cowl and the 2.0 cowl. And then moving on, we have hands. We have 8 hands in total. There's 2 still on them. Oh, I'll just show you this little leather strap. Well, it's not leather, it's pleather, guys. It velcros over, and in my opinion the velcro is a bit bulky, but it's for using when you use that coat for putting it over the sleeve, because the full gauntlet won't fit. There we go. We have 2 open gesturing hands, 2 closed fists, 2 gripping hands, and if I just get a little bit yeah, I'll have to bring it down a bit, guys, because it's very shiny on those hands there. If I just bring it in a little bit closer, you can see that there is a nice little bit of detail to them. And there we go. They're painted really, really well, Hot Toys standard, to be honest with you. A good bit of speckling on them. I see a lot of speckling on them, and you can see that they are pliable. They are a bit rubbery, so they move quite easily, and they grip onto things absolutely fantastic. You can see there that grips it perfectly. And then we have 2 relaxed palms as well. If I just move this camera up, we'll have a look at them because they're on the figure. There we go. We have 2 open relaxed palms as well on him, guys. So 8 hands, 4 pairs. That's all you need. So yeah, so moving on, we will have a look at his base, or his stand, or his diorama. I believe it falls into all of those categories, to be honest with you, because it's quite big and detailed. You can see it's quite a tall piece there, guys. I'll have to bring those lights down because that cardboard has a bit of a gloss on it and it's very shiny. The metal bits are a bit glossy. It is a cardboard print, that metal grid, but it does the job. And you can see on the left hand and the right hand side of the rusty bits, it just painted to make it look like all rusty water has been running down it, which is a nice attention to detail. It runs all the way down, like grimy water has been all sliding down. It looks really nice, and it's all dimpled. It's all got that kind of textured dimpled effect, and you can see the rust on the railings there. And then you can see where it says Bane from the Dark Knight Rises, which is odd. I expected to say Dark Knight Trilogy for some reason, because it says Dark Knight Trilogy on the box, but it actually says Dark Knight Rises on the nameplate, which I'm happy to see. And just moving it to the side there, I'll show you what I mentioned earlier on about it not clipping in at the bottom. It just doesn't clip in on the water part of it, which is a bit of a nuisance. If I can get this camera down, which is a bit of a nuisance also. Get this steady here, guys. I do apologize. There we go. No, there we go. Right, yeah, you can see where it clips in just at the bottom here. It just pushes in and it clips in, and on this side it works absolutely fine. But on the other side, if I just move it over, you can see already that it just doesn't clip in on this side. It's not cut out right. You can see just in the corner here where it catches the water part, and it's just not shaped out right, unfortunately. It clips in at the back, but just at the front there, it just will not clip in, and you can just see when I push down on it that it's never going to go in unless I do something about it, which is, again, like I said, a pain in the ass because it doesn't sit flush at all, guys. But there's so many ways of utilizing this base. You know, if you don't have the height, you can take the cut out at the back. But like I said there, guys, it says Bane at the from the Dark Knight Trilogy. Oh, sorry, the Dark Knight Rises, which I'm happy to see. You can see the legs of it there pop down, and there is 2 levels to the legs, so you can add more height to it as well if height isn't an issue, and it just makes the whole thing really towering when you have it on the height, and with the backdrop as well. It's really, really, really presented well when you have it, you know, in its full splendor and glory. And as I mentioned, the railing there has a lot of rust on it and rust effect to it. It's what more could you ask for? It's so, you know, dynamic, this base. You can minimize it, you can bring it right down. If I just take the back off, I'll show you what I mean. No, I can't really get the back off, guys, on camera. What I'll do is I'm just gonna put up photographs, guys, of each way you can pretty much pose it. You can see it dropped it down there, that's taking the water away, dropping it down there with just the back on, taking the back off. You can minimize it. If space is an issue, you can bring it right down to its bare minimum, which is there, and doesn't take up any more space than, you know, the average stand. And here we have the figure itself, guys, and just look at that is absolutely amazing. I'm just gonna give it a pan down and up, guys. Every detail is absolutely fantastic. I'll just go up again, like I said. I can't stop staring at it. Figure of the year, like I said. Better than the Joker Artisan. For me, obviously, the Joker Artisan is the only Artisan figure I have, and to me, this is better than it. I thought the Artisan was going to be my best figure ever, but just the body on this, if this is anything to go by, guys, the Wolverine, the TVA Wolverine is going to be absolutely amazing. Just starting from bottom to top in my usual fashion, we'll have a look at the boots, and you can see that they are, immediately you can see that they are one mold. They're not a split boot at all. You can see the detail in them there, the ripple effect where the heel is and the strap going across with the buckle on it, and it is accurate to the colour, which I think the Daft Toys one that I have anyway, the kit that I got, isn't accurate in colour. Just looking at the sole there, you can see the stitching all around it there. I do believe that is accurate to the movie. No grip on it, and then on the inside you can see the details of the stitching as well. That's been painted on really, really intricately and really nice, and the separation on the heel as well, the little bits on the heel that are separated, and then you have the gold studs and the lace, and it's a really soft rubber, as you can see, guys. It is really soft. It still doesn't improve the articulation. The articulation isn't there at all, because it's not a split boot, you know. And look, I like it. I'm not a big fan of the split boot design anyway. It takes away from the realism when you look down at them, when there's a split in the Batman figure, for example. I don't like the split boot on that. Moving up to the trousers, guys, the first thing that immediately hits me, just like the Joker figure, no weathering. I'm a bit disappointed in the lack of weathering, more so than with the Joker figure, because this guy lives in a sewer, doesn't he? I don't think he'd be this clean. So I'm a little bit... You can see there is some weathering on the knee pads, which is fine, absolutely fine. Just looking at the details of the pockets there, you can see that this is all movie accurate. The pockets don't open, and I wouldn't want to open them anyway, because you have to do all that, undo all that, cord. But all the stitching is so intricate. The pads, you can see they're attached by Velcro, so they're adjustable for height depending on the pose that you're doing, which is nice that they do that now with some of their figures. And there's no chance of the glue coming undone or coming off or anything. Again, moving around to the back, the pockets are in the right places. Unfortunately, no weathering, not functioning pockets, which you don't need to be. And then they have this little flap at the side, which I believe that is movie accurate. The Daft Toys one and the 1.0 one has one. Guys, I keep saying Daft Toys. I'm not actually sure if it's Daft Toys, so I better redact that. I can't remember if the kit I got was Daft Toys or not. I'm just gonna have to fix this loop that's come out of the... Should I do this on camera? Am I gonna waste your time doing this? If I don't get this... No, I have it. Do I have it? Yes. Okay, right, moving on. There we go. Now, moving up, I suppose. Oh yeah, I just want to point out this molded zip that he has there on his left-hand side. It's molded in, it's not a real zip. I can guess what the zip is there for because it doesn't have an end to it. But I'm not going to guess. You can see the sandy wash that's been put in on the knee pads to give a bit of weathering, but it kind of just, I don't know, it just makes them stand out because there's no weathering anywhere else other than the knee pads. Just looking in at the stitching there all around it again, guys. It's so fine, it's so scaled down, it's just amazing. Nobody does the stitching like Hot Toys. Nobody does the head sculpts like Hot Toys. Nobody does the eyes like Hot Toys. Nobody touches them. Just looking at the body armor there, guys, and I'll just get in a bit closer. You can see that these feel like they're made out of a metal. They feel metal. I could be wrong. But I'm gonna bet that they are. I'm gonna take it down a bit, guys. There is a shine off that body armor. It's very shiny. I think it's a bit more shiny than it was in the movie, to be quite honest with you. And when I took it out of the box, you can see all the weathering on the shiny silver bits, just around here and at the top of it. And I thought to myself when I took it out of the box, shouldn't the rest of it have a bit of weathering on it? But it is accurate, guys. It is completely accurate. Now, like I said, the shine off the silver bits are a bit too shiny, and as you can see, I've just put a still up there of Tom Hardy as Bane, and it's just not as shiny as that, guys. It should be brought down a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. It's still the most accurate rendition of it that we have. Looking at all the fine details, guys, this flap here just does my head in, guys. It shouldn't be lifting up like that, and I'm gonna have to tack it down a little bit because that's not accurate at all, that flapping up like that. And it does have the cords, the red cords in it, like it should have, tied up. And again, moving around to the side, you can see that the weathering on it does match, it is uniformed around all the silver bits, and he has the strings tying it all together. You can see there is no end to those strings, unlike some of the other versions where you can actually take it all off. You can't take it all off, guys. I could probably undo the belt here. This is a separate piece. This is more like a girdle, obviously something to do with his back injury, I'd say. This piece here isn't leather, guys. What it would have cost them to put a bit of leather here, I don't know, but they've made it leather, guys, and I'm a little bit disappointed because it is, at this point, the only part of it that is going to let you down is this back piece. The zip here is molded, unlike the 1.0. I believe the 1.0 was just split there and clipped in by little stud buttons. Somebody can correct me there if I'm wrong. I didn't have the 1.0. I have to brighten it up there, guys, for you to see the details here, and I'll bring it in a little bit closer as well to that zip. Like I said, it is just one mold, so it doesn't zip down. And then at the top of the shoulders there, you can see that more of the weathering on the silver piece, which is nice to have it all uniform, because sometimes they leave the back out. They don't do not Hot Toys, but other companies just don't bother with the back. I'm just going to bring it in a bit closer again there, guys, so you can see the intricate details of everything going on there, and the textures and the different you can see the different texture there from there to there, what different materials they've used. And in the belt, I'm moving it back around to the front, guys. Again, just looking at all those materials that they've used and how they fixed everything in place. And look at the stitching even there, how fine that stitching is at the edges. It's scaled down beautifully. Scaled down, guys, and I give this vest an absolute 10 out of 10 for how it's designed and how it's put together. It just looks the part, looks like it does in the movie. Moving on to his gauntlet, pleather, guys. Something else that's going to let you down. The coats are fine, but these little bits are just, probably going to let people down in the long run. Now, it is a good quality pleather though, unlike some of the other ones that I've seen. It is a really good pleather. You can see it moves around there. I thought it was going to get a bit stuck because the silicone that they've used is a little bit sticky, so I thought it would get stuck, but it moves freely. You can see it's velcroed on there, guys. The velcro, in my opinion, is a little bit bulky. It's just a little bit, I don't know what else they could have done, guys. Obviously, that's the only way they could do it. It's at the back as well, so it's no big deal, but it is just a little bit bulky, and you can't put the coats on with that gauntlet on. You do have to take the gauntlet off, as I mentioned. So moving into the skin, guys, the silicone that they've used, this medical grade silicone, and underneath it is a metal frame. It's amazing, the texture that they've put in it. I didn't expect it to have this kind of texture to it, I hear some people have been giving out about it being over textured, but I disagree. In hand, it doesn't, and it's really tough silicone as well. It's really strong. Like, I do have to give it a good press to get it to squeeze. It's not flimsy. It's not like some of the Fison bodies that you get out there, that the rubber or the silicone is really gooey, just looking at the details there, you can see the veins running up the forearm. There's a little bit of blue to them as well. All the speckling up there, you can see where the tricep separates from the bicep there. Is just absolutely amazing. You see the lats come out there when he lifts his arm up as well. Now, there is a bit of a pinch in it when it closes again, but it's no big deal. You can adjust it back in. That's bound to happen, on a 1/6 scale figure that's made out of silicone. And then looking at the scar, a lot of people were interested in seeing this scar because I do believe the 1.0 didn't have it. Somebody might correct me on that. I know when body swaps were done, people were missing the scar, obviously. So the scar was a big detail that people wanted, and it's there, and it looks on point. It's completely movie accurate. It looks the part, and you can see with the silicone, when he moves his head, just this part here, when he moves his head to the left, stretches just like it would. It's creepy in a lot of senses. You can see how the skin all moves just like it would. If it was a real part, it's just, oh god, it's mad. It's creepy in some senses. Looking at the head sculpt, guys, I think I might stabilize it a little bit before we get into the head sculpt. And there we go. It speaks for itself. For me, guys, it's the closest thing to a 10 out of 10 I've ever seen in 1/6 scale figure format. It just ticks all the boxes. I'm gonna try and put some light on his eyes there, because his eyes are very dark, because they're in so far. And they look so real. They look amazing. Just moving it around to the side there, guys, you can see where they have the little scar in his eyebrow that Tom Hardy does have. They put that little subtle scar in there, and the skin bulging out the side of the mask. I had to double check, guys, and look at the movie again to see how tight that mask on him was, and you can see it overlapping his cheek there, or his cheek overlapping the mask there slightly, and that is absolutely perfect. It's like that in the movie. Is the mask is on his face so tight that it does bulge out. I'm going to bring the lights down a little bit, guys, so you can see the detail on the skull there and all the veins in it and the scarring and just the paint applications. And if the light catches it right, you can see that they've put a bit of that speckling of like a satin speckle on it to make it look like sweat or perspiration on his head. Never seen that before on 1/6 scale, and it looks amazing when the light catches it in certain points, you know. Moving around to the back of the sculpt, I'm going to bring the lights back up again so you can see the details. I know the lights change, it does give a bit of a shine off his skin, but you won't see the details otherwise. Just looking at the wires going up there and the blue tabs all tacking the wires down, not purple tabs like some people say, it is blue tabs. And all the mechanisms on the inside there with a bit of wash on them just to, you know, show off the details and make them look used and a bit grubby. And just giving you another look at the scar there again, guys, in better light. On point. Moving around to the side there again, looking at the side profile, looks perfect to me. And the mask, guys, all the details in the mask are spot on, absolutely spot on, painted so well. The red bits on and the inside there, all the tubing, all the blue tabs to hold the wires all in place, all painted very well, all wash put in there to show off the details. And looking at those eyes, guys, I've just realised one of those eyes when I put that head sculpt back on has knocked off place, and I am sorry, that looks odd. If anybody noticed that. I'm going to turn it to the side so you don't see that now. Yeah, just looking at the details on the side there and how the mask, the skin bulges out the sides of the mask again, guys. It's really on point. It's the realest looking figure I have, and I know half his face is covered by mask, but just with that silicone body, guys, it just looks absolutely amazing. It looks, you know, the closest thing I have to a real person, a miniaturized person. I'm gonna attempt to put this jacket on, guys, and see kind of how it slides up the silicone body, and how easy it is to put on. I'm not gonna put you through the torture of it, guys. I'll do it in fast forward, but for now I will show you how that I do have to take off the gauntlet, and it's handy enough to take off. You just have to, you know, you could probably put this biker jacket on with the gauntlet on. It does look wide enough, I'm not sure, but I'm not going to do it. I am going to go through the process. So taking the gauntlet off, handy enough, just undo the velcro, undo the buckles gently. This one's giving me, there's always one that gives you trouble, and then slide it down gently over the thumb. Now the hands, the reason why I take the gauntlet off as well is I don't want to just pull the hands off without seeing what I'm doing, you know, with the gauntlet on. So pulling them out is a bit of a nuisance in that they come out this far easy enough, but then they get really stuck after this point here, obviously because of the metal frame that's underneath. So you can see there, if I just bring that in, and I'll bring the light on it and bring it in a little, can you see that metal frame in there? Now what I'll do is I'll actually take the hand off and then I'll show you. So you got to give it a good yank to get it off the rest of the way. And you can see the metal frame in there, guys. It's literally living tissue over metal endoskeleton. He's closer to a Terminator figure than a Terminator figure. Yeah, so he has this metal frame, and it gives this figure, with even the silicone has weight to it, so it gives the figure quite a lot of weight, guys. It is a solid lump of a figure, and you know where your money is spent when you're holding this figure in your hand. Just taking the hand out again, like I said, you've got to give it a good tug to get it off that metal frame. That'll wear down with taking them out in and out over time, I'm sure. Just having another look at that frame in there, there is no expense spared as far as I can see here. Like, you know, I don't know what the bottom half of him is like. I'm sure it's all plastic. I'm sure the whole torso isn't silicone either, because you can't take the vest off as far as I can see. I'm sure there is a way. They got it on. I can't get it off though, so, and I'm not going to try, but I'd assume that the rest of that torso isn't. silicone. I'm just fast forwarding the putting on the jacket, guys, but to be honest with you, it didn't give me much hassle at all. I was a couple of minutes just sliding it up the arms, didn't stick too bad, and here we have it so far. If I just can move this camera up and get everything into frame, and there we are so far. It looks really well. It's not the jacket I'd be using. I won't be using any jacket, because why would you cover up that silicone body? So those, these awesome jackets are just going to sit in the box unless people have a 1.0 or something like that that they can kit bash another figure out of. Doing the zip up, guys, no, I just nearly had an explosion, guys, trying to get the zip on. 20 minutes trying to get that zip back up. Absolute nuisance. But I got there in the end. You can see that it looks really well. It fits, it contours to his body so well, guys. You can see where the shoulder areas all fit right. There is no wire in the collar, which I'm a little bit disappointed in the lack of a collar. Not saying it doesn't do what you want it to do, it just over time I think it's going to pull back in there and be hitting off his chin. Just looking at the belt, like I said earlier on, it attaches by Velcro, and again I'm just going to fast forward this, putting this on, because it was a bit of a nuisance trying to get it all in. But just slide it all in there and then just pull it together and attach it by the Velcro. A lot of futzing, guys, a lot of futzing with the jacket, but once you have it, even there, the way I have it there, I still got to do a lot of futzing in the sleeves and stuff, but even there, it still looks really well. Just looking at where it fits on the shoulders there, and the stitching on the shoulders all fits exactly how it should and where it should. And then putting on the hand, you can see there that I do have to put on this little leather strap to make it appear as though he still has his gauntlet on. Like I said earlier on, the Velcro is a bit bulky on it, and you'll kind of see what I mean. Now it's on the forehand, so it's a little bit in the way. Can I get this in frame here? I have to roll up the sleeve, guys. I've got that actually on backwards, haven't I? I need to put that on that way. Yeah, it is. There is a bit of futzing with it, guys, to get it on. It's a bit of a nuisance. It doesn't fit exactly right. It's a little bit loose and baggy on the palm area. And like I said, the Velcro is just a bit bulky. It's okay. It's not too bad. But if you have the arm bent and the sleeve comes up, it fully exposes this gauntlet, or this portion of the gauntlet, which is a deal breaker, really. If the arm is fully extended down like that, that's fine. But if you bend that arm with that jacket on, it fully exposes that half gauntlet, and I'd assume it's the same with the full coat. But there you have it, guys. Pretty much on him, like I said, still a lot of futzing to do to get it all right and to get it on right, but putting it on was relatively easy. Like I said, I expected the silicone to be sticky and be a bit of a nuisance to get up over him, but it wasn't, guys. It absolutely fit perfectly. I've still got to do a bit of futzing on the sleeves there and get it all right, but as you can see there, guys, that's pretty much it on, and it fits him perfect. The tailoring is spot on. The pockets are in the right places. The only complaint I have is that zip is just slightly oversized, but you could cover that up with the collar part of the jacket. Just moving it around to the side, it is all very tight on him. I don't know what it was like in the movie, how tight it was on him in the movie, but it is very, very tight on him there at the back. But at the front, guys, it doesn't make any odds. It looks spot on. That looks really, really nice. And there's, unfortunately, I mean, if this guy was plastic, I'd probably put one of the coats on him, especially if he had exposed joints, but he doesn't. So I have a plan in order for utilising those coats. Just showing you as well, guys. This jacket here, it just does what you want it to do. Because it's nylon, it has this, there's no wires in this, but it stays open like that if you pull it open. It just does what you want it to do. This nylon material, this waxy nylon material that they've used, and just closing it over again. No wires. Doesn't flop. It doesn't. Okay, the collar is a little bit, could do with a wire in it, but it's not too bad. I'm so impressed with this nylon material that they've used instead of the pleather. And I'd like to never ever see pleather on any figure ever again. Would be an absolute dream come true. And if Hot Toys were going to go down this road of replacing their jackets with this nylon material, then why not replace everything with the nylon? Why not replace the Darth? They're doing the Darth Vaders, aren't they? Anybody with leather pants on, put this nylon on. Anybody with leather jackets on, get rid of the pleather. Here we have the other coat, the more iconic coat, guys, and I mentioned earlier on whether I check if this would fully clasp over, and I am happy to report that this will absolutely fully button. I don't know why you do it, but the option is there. And if any collectors know or have collected a few figures over the time, they know that not all of these 1/6 scale coats are actually to scale. They won't fully close and clasp closed, or some of them don't even have buttonholes in them to close if you want to have that option. A lot of the figures, blazers on, they can't close the blazer. Just punching in there, looking at that fur effect that they've put on there, and they have this little detail of this button that I never noticed in the movie. Obviously the collar disconnects, and they have put in the button there to disconnect the collar from the jacket, and all the buttons all down the inside. It's just it's on point. The attention to detail is amazing. This coat is just so well scaled. Indeed, it's scaled down perfectly, guys. And with the wires in the bottom of it there, you can open up to reveal the fur. You can fold it back and reveal the fur, and we'll just get the collar up there just like it is in the movie. And there we go. That is that iconic look for him, and that is amazing. I will bring down the lights a bit, guys, because that fur is giving a lot of wash, and his skin is very white looking there, guys. But like I said, the coat is just on point. A little bit of futzing needs doing there, guys, but it's on point. It is, to me, it's a little bit tight at the back and around the sleeves. I recall it being a little bit baggier on him in the movie. Like I said, there is a little bit more futzing to do, but you'll never get it as baggy as it was in the movie. If you look at the side there, it's just, if I recall correctly, it was a little bit baggier in the sleeve area on him. But like I said, guys, the wires help it to fold out and look like it did in the movie, which is a nice little bit of detail from Hot Toys. I just want to show you the sculpt, guys, and how you move the eyes. And there is a piece there that comes out that the peg snaps onto, that you take out to adjust the eyes, a little plastic piece. And then you have the separate rolling eyeball function, and it really brings this character to life, having the rolling eyeball function, because obviously his eyes are pretty much the only part of his face you can see. If you tilt those eyes down or to the side a little bit, it just adds so much more emotion to the figure, to what bits of the face you can see. And it really is, if any figure needs to get rolling eyeball function, it's this guy. I don't have the 1.0, guys, as I mentioned earlier on, but I do have this silly little kit bash that I'm embarrassed to show you now. Up until this guy was announced, I was quite happy with this guy. Up until I got this guy, I was quite happy with this guy. And then I put them side by side, and as you can see there, the first thing is the head on the new Hot Toys one is huge compared to the other one, and even the body armor is different colors and way more realistic looking. The body I used for the kit bash, guys, has a really long neck, as you can see there. It's an old Hot Toys figure, but just looking at the difference in the two of them there, it makes the kit bash on the right hand side look like a piece of trash, really. Like I said, the body I used for the kit bash, guys, I'm not sure if anybody would be able to guess. It is an old Hot Toys body that I use. You can see the neck is really long there, and the staining on the neck might give it away as to what body I'm using there. I'll just reveal a little bit more of it. It is quite a muscular body, an old school body with the old silicone arms on it. I'll just actually, that's very dark, guys. I do apologize. Let me see if I can bring up the light a little bit and show you again. Yeah, maybe stick it in the comments there, guys. Anybody who has a guess as to what body I've used for the kit bash. It is an old Hot Toys figure and it is quite expensive at the moment, but I predict that there's going to be a 2.0 of it. And there we have a M34 Fison body that I was originally going to swap the my kit bash over to get rid of that long neck. However, this guy got announced and I just never got around to it, guys. I just never got around to putting the M34 body on him, which I might actually just do, because it would be even a vast improvement. And I'm not gonna be posing this guy here on the left with the coat on, obviously with the silicone body. So I'm gonna probably do a body swap and use my kit bash with that Hot Toys 2.0 coat on him, which would be a good way of utilizing that coat and giving the two separate looks for Bane. Just looking at this guy again, guys, I can't stop looking at him. Even with the coat on, I can't stop looking at it. The head sculpt is amazing and it makes that guy look like a piece of trash, unfortunately. Yeah, there is the best comparison I can do. I'm gonna do a body swap. I'm gonna swap this guy over and see what he looks like. So let's go ahead and do that. And there you go. There is the body swap with the I'm gonna say Daft Toys, guys, but I might be wrong again. Somebody could correct me in the comments. Body swap with the M34 Fison body and the Hot Toys 2.0 coat on him. That is the Daft Toys body armor. Obviously, I've covered it up as best I can and foots with it and get it all in line as best I can. I do love those trousers. The trousers, they're really baggy, just like they were in the movie, unlike the Hot Toys 1.0 version. If you do a body swap with a 1.0 Hot Toys figure, you can't get the trousers on the well, you can, but it's a struggle and a bet onto them. So that looks really well, with the exception of the head being so small. That looks really well. So there is the two separate looks that I'll have from. Obviously, the trousers on the Hot Toys figure and the proportions are way better on the Hot Toys figure, but that is still a great way of utilizing the two, or one of the coats, should I say, and getting the two separate looks on them. So I'm going to leave you with some pictures, guys, and please do hit that like and subscribe. I know this was a long video, and thank you very much for watching it this far. And like I said, stay tuned for future content. Take care.